Fates have been forged and fortunes overturned. We finished the 2021 DBNI selection season with a mad scramble for 28 precious spots. The glimmer of hope that was virtual Cascadia has been realized for some and squandered for others. And the spotlight now shines bright on our official top DBNI contestants. Shave off your eyebrows and sell your family heirlooms because this is the DBNI Countdown Show.
Good afternoon and welcome to the 2022 DBN Invitational Selection Show. For the first time ever, Countdown is coming to you live, unedited, and there will probably be a ton of mistakes, and we couldn't be more excited. I'm Brian Preval alongside my co-host Zachary Moore. Zach, just a few hours ago, Virtual Cascadia, the final game of the 2021 DBNI regular season concluded, and our stats team's been hard at work calculating the final standings, extending invitations, and seeding the final 28 slots of the DBN Invitational. In total, 352 players played 310 games of diplomacy at 18 qualifying events. 10 players received an automatic invitation, leaving 18 at-large spots for the rest of the field to make up our final top 28 of the 2021 season. Let's take a quick look at which players earned an automatic invitation to February's Diplomacy Broadcast Network Invitational.
Yeah, on screen, we have the players receiving an automatic invitation from their wins in the face-to-face and virtual face-to-face formats.
And of note here, Adam Silverman won a qualifying event by winning Carnage, but did not meet the minimum qualification of playing in at least 2 virtual games during the 2021 regular season, and as a result, did not receive an invitation.
We'll flip it on over to the players receiving an automatic invite from the extended deadline and league format.
And Saren Kwok was the only player to receive 2 automatic invitations this season, winning both the Summer Classic and the Tour of Britain. Each player can only be invited to play once, so in the end, 10 players received automatic invitations from 12 auto qualifying events. So, Zach, now it is our honor to present the final standings of the 2021 regular season and reveal the 28 players who will be playing in this year's DBN Invitational.
It's time, Brian. Let's read those standings.
All right, well, here are your top 7 seeds. Some people waive builds, but when you're as good as Saren Kwok, you can waive entire tournaments with no consequences whatsoever. She sits out Cascadia and maintains her commanding grip over spot number 1.
And Karthik Konyak likes to start at 2 and doesn't plan on stopping anytime soon. He showed up fashionably late to live coverage of Cascadia after day drinking himself to sleep somewhere in the Pacific, but it'll take an intervention of 6 of his closest friends to stop him from winning boards in February.
Nicola Sahu Gettysburg only needed 4 scores and 7 deers in the headlights at the VDC top board, where he addressed any rumors that he was anything but an elite player.
Coming in at number 4, Evan Pie Chart looks at a board and sees 2 categories, Evan Centers and Evan Centers, but in different colors. He's a press savant with a virtual pedigree, and he's mentally fresh after taking this weekend off.
Karen Jane yelled at round 1 of Cascadia to get off her lawn, as the top board aficionado preferred to sleep in while all the non-superstars got up and worked their butts off to qualify. She treads water and remains a favorite to win this tournament.
Number 6, Nicolas Valet is all too happy to take the keys and park himself squarely in your home centers while you generously tip your hand. The leading contender for Rookie of the Year has his eyes on a whole lot more.
And Jason Massbaum took control of Cascadia in round 1, only to get jumped as Germany in the final act. It was all just cherries and cream for the whipping champion, whose ticket was punched long ago.
And moving on to seeds 8 through 14. Number 8, Tyron Matthew Krill uses a spoonful of honey to badger you into giving him dots, but no amount of Kansas City barbecue sauce could make playing turkey in round 2 of Cascadia any more palatable. Second place finishes at Carnage and Whipping have the Pacific Northwesterner hungry for more.
And real fans of Greg Matthews just call him Greg. And the Nexus champion comes back on tour where the world-class rider will go about perfecting the sound of backroom deals and unfulfilled promises.
Ed Scissorhands Sullivan is as lovable as he is dangerous, but he'll need to cut ties with his conscience if he wants to climb to the top of the DBNI mountain.
Johnny Gillum is a Rookie of the Year finalist and the star of the forthcoming Facebook AI research biopic about Carnage 2021. But in a week where we have to say goodbye to one expat, we say hello to another who's officially punched his ticket to the DBNI.
And speaking of number 12, Cyril Savannah has been one of the most dominant European players this season. Unfortunately, he had to decline his invitation and will not be playing, opening up another at-large slot.
And coming in at 13, Vincent Roulet put all his money on lucky number 13 and be rolling into the DBNI with his eye on a different kind of chip, receiving the 12th seed of this tournament.
And Make-A-Wish Kamaritis got to meet so many of his diplomacy idols on the VDL top board, and even though he didn't win, the experience gave him the strength and the points to keep fighting into February.
Emmanuel de Pontevis picked up a pair of silver medals in French play this year, easily qualifying for the DBNI by ending the regular season in 15th, but has declined his invitation.
You hate to hear it, but you love to hear about Katie Gray, who is feeling blue and seeing red as she watched a strong start as France disintegrate into a Tommy Anderson solo victory last night at Cascadia. She'll look to harness that anger at the biggest tournament of the year, coming in as this tournament's 14th seed.
And moving on to seeds 15 to 21, Riaz Varani has the mostly laid low this season in the virtual world, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. The masterful tactician goes into the biggest tournament of the year with no baggage and no enemies.
Brandon Fogey shook his fist at the sky from his lofty DBNI perch all weekend, bad-mouthing all the poor youngsters from his retirement village in Florida and using out-of-date language like stab and Armenia. He secures his spot with points that he probably inherited from his grandparents, but insists he earned.
And Russ Dennis tragically shot up the standings during what was supposed to be a tune-up at the event at Weaselmoot. And as a result, he'll be spending a whole lot of time getting grilled by lawyers at this year's DBNI.
Liam Strokes isn't afraid to swing, and his top 5 finish at Cascadia was par for the course this season. He's got a reputation as a wild card, but he's been showing his reliable side as of late.
Tommy Tin Hat Anderson connected all the dots and uncovered an unsavory plot that went all the way to the top and then past the top. But it turned out he was the puppet master the whole time as he forged a new world order in the name of an Italian solo.
And now to the nitty-gritty, our final members of the 2022 DBNI. It seeds 22 through 28. Ben Kelman did what he needed to do at Virtual Cascadia last night to tread water and extend his season for another month. He'll look to learn from his recent top board experience at BDL and break out amongst a pit of sharks.
And Christophe Borgia sowed the wind at Cascadia and will all be reaping the whirlwind as his ill-fated alliance with Tommy Anderson's Italy culminated in destruction for that entire board and a DBNI berth for the Tornado.
Brioc Thibault rested on his laurels for another month, but the barrage of points from Cascadia wasn't enough to knock him from his perch. Unfortunately, his own schedule was enough to knock him from his perch, as our 24th ranked player declined his invitation.
And Swiss Ketchum proved unpassable, and the CERN employee has put out a stern warning for the rest of the field, entering the tournament as our 22nd seed.
Noam, I swear I'm not working for Skynet. Brown came up short at Cascadia, but strong finishes at DixieCon and VDC get him 26th place and a spot in the DBNI.
Sabi Who's That emerged from the shadows of obscurity with a dominating performance at Cascadia. You'd better learn their name quickly, because Sabi is playing their best diplomacy of the year at the perfect time.
Tom, don't give him any grief, makes the field with just 2 scores, an 8th place finish at VDL, and a high-flying 3rd in the Tour of Britain.
Well, it is hot in Australia, and Jamal Blackerly's play has been even hotter, earning him a 29th place overall in the regular season standings. Unfortunately, Jamal will not be playing and leaves a spot open for another Australian to take his place, Peter Mcnamara. Peter, Center Eater Mcnamara's visa has been approved by the DBN Minister of Health. The defending champion slides in by the barest threads of his gunny sack, finishing in 30th place, but making it anyway as the 27th seed.
And top 7 rookie Sasha Massacre declined his spot after failing to drop out of the top 28 despite his best efforts.
And Robert Shoup says danke very much for his invitation, rising 9 spots to 32nd place on the back of a 3rd place finish at last night's Cascadia to go with his 8th place finish at the VDC. Robert was in 45th place before the VDC.
Finally, Timothy Crosby was not able to help his cause at Cascadia, but he hangs on for dear life to the final spot in this year's tournament thanks to his strong performance at DixieCon.
And here are the players who have accepted an invitation as alternates.
Ruben Sanchez, Christian Brown, and Christopher Ward will be the first 3 in should any of the aforementioned names have to drop.
Well, Zach, as we know, in the 2021 DBNI, Jason Massbaum was the Cinderella story of this tournament, coming in as an alternate and missing the grand finals by just 1 place. It'll take some luck, but there's a chance we may see at least one of our alternates in the month of February. In total, 5 players who qualified for the DBNI have declined their invitation, making the cut line for this season 33rd place and the score at 30.7 points.
No surprise here, Brian. All season long, we've been saying that the final totals would be close, and we were not wrong, as we never are, which is why you should believe us. After an entire year of high-level competitive diplomacy, the difference between qualifying for the dance and getting a slot as an alternate was just 2.3 points.
Well, in addition to our DBNI qualifiers, we also want to recognize the high caliber play we've seen from many players in their rookie season. Raising awareness about the game of diplomacy and growing this hobby are the primary goals of the Diplomacy Broadcast Network. This year, the first season player with the highest score was Nicolas Taillet. Congratulations, Nicolas, on winning the first ever Eddie Bursson Rookie of the Year award.
No surprise here, Brian. Nicolas took control of the rookie watch last month in the VDL championship game, which he won with an excellent performance when he did not look like a rookie at all. He looks like he's been playing this game for 20 years. And when you talk to him on a board, you feel like you're talking to someone who's been playing the game for 20 years. He's got the demeanor, he's got the skill, he's got the sharp read of the board that you don't see out of many rookies.
Well, we'd like to congratulate all 7 of this year's top rookies. These are not just players to watch next season. Many of them have a legitimate chance to qualify for the grand finals and perhaps even win the Calumet Cup this year. All right, Zach, it all comes down to this. After competing in over 93,000 hours of competitive diplomacy during the 2021 regular season, only 28 players are left. All that time spent agonizing over the smallest tactical details, reviewing game replays in search of a strategic edge, building and destroying trust and relationships. None of that matters. These are the things that got you here, but February isn't about what you've done. February is about what you do next. It's about how you will respond when you're staring across the game table at 27 of the world's best players, whose one goal is to make sure that you do not make it to the next round. Will you buckle under the pressure, or will your name be written in diplomacy history? This is the Diplomacy Broadcast Network Invitational. Let's take a look at that upcoming event right now.
I think we should, Brian. The DBNI Top 28 will be competing in the semifinals scheduled for February 18th through 20th, and we'll be providing live coverage here on DBN Saturday, February 19th, and Sunday, February 20th.
And the DBNI Championship game will be played February 26th or 27th, depending on which players qualify. So stay tuned for more details after the players have been selected and a time has been agreed to. And Zach, that brings our show to a close. This will be the final countdown of this year. We'd like to congratulate everyone who qualified for this season's DBNI. The time and effort our players have put into this game has paid off. What were your thoughts about the regular season?
Brian, the right ones got in. We just read through the names. We went back and forth on it. And the people who ended up on that list were players who had superb performances, most of them more than one superb performance. This is truly the cream rising to the top, and it's excellent to see that some of the members of that cream are the same ones that we saw on Rookie Watch. First-year players coming in, making their presence felt right away. It's the type of thing you love to see.
Yeah. Well, the future of this hobby is bright. I cannot wait for February. I get to host and commentate on these games. I'm expecting some of the best diplomacy games to ever be played. And at the end of it, someone's name is going down into history. I'd like to thank each of you for watching today's show. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please contact us on Twitter at DiploBN or email us at info@diplobn.com. And if you enjoyed the show, please like the video, click the subscribe button. Tell us your thoughts, make your own predictions in the comments section below. This would be a good time for you to make some predictions about who's going to win it all this year. And this will help YouTube prioritize these videos and might help someone else discover the game that we enjoy so much. So as always, thank you for watching. We hope to see you on a diplomacy board soon.